До Торонто в листопаді заїхав історик і науковець із Західної Канади Богдан Кордан на презентацію нової книжки, в якій розглядає рішення канадського уряду в справі сумної постанови інтернувати осіб української і других національностей під час Першої світової війни.
Мені, як голові наукового товариства імені Шевченка в Канаді, припала велика приємність і честь привітати вас сьогодні вечором на презентації нової книжки професора Богдана Кордана.
Well, the main message is that this is a story about human rights. And we see in these moments in time, especially here in Canada, where one wouldn't expect it, where these rights are violated. And so if it can happen then, it can happen again. And so we need to remain vigilant. And so the question here that we're all faced with is being attentive to the rights we hold in common and what do we need to ensure that these are protected.
We're here to learn about the latest book Professor Kordan has written. This is the latest of 4 books. He has previously published books on topics related to this one.
I really focused in on the effect of government policy on individuals and the trials and tribulations that they were forced to endure as a result of that policy. So we talk about such things in the book as internment, but even those that were not interned but were subjected to surveillance, had to report regularly to police and so on and so forth, and really speaks about a policy that had these individuals under watch, being monitored, and as a result of suspicion. The initial legislation was really about security measures that was not just simply implemented in Canada, but throughout many countries that were involved in the war. But the nature of the legislation also opened up the possibility of dealing with sort of social and economic problems. And so what you find in this case is that the vast majority of those that were interned, in fact, were destitute and homeless. And so the government in this way dealt with a problem, an economic and social problem, by using these kinds of security legislation, which is really a distinguishing feature of the Canadian internment operation. And it really speaks to sort of other dynamics at work at this time, which is strong anti-foreigner sentiment, and the government responded accordingly under pressure from returning veterans, but the general population that increasingly saw these people as unwanted and shouldn't be in the country. They were aliens or enemies within our midst. That was the description that was used, and so the government necessarily responded accordingly. War tends to magnify questions regarding loyalty, allegiance, and it's precisely under these conditions that the government necessarily has to respond. It has to respond to people, in effect, who are saying, in this particular case, where you have huge unemployment among these individuals, what are you going to do about this? And so the government looked to use the security legislation and measures that was at its disposal to deal with this problem. And that is the inherent injustice of it all, is the ability of the government to actually use the instruments at its disposal to deal with what was essentially a fairly fairly sort of benign problem of unemployment and the like.
The difficulty was that these people were brought into camps as prisoners of war. But for them, they understood fundamentally that the war had nothing to do with them. They were civilians. And in this contradiction lay a profound disappointment with the country they called home, Canada.
Where can we get the book?
Well, it should be available in your local bookstore, but if it isn't there, then just simply request it and say that it should be on shelves for people to purchase. And so I encourage everybody, go to your local chapters or your Indigo Books or what have you, and sort of request it. And of course, it will always make for a good Christmas gift. Thank you.
Із приводу свята Різдва Христового і Нового року Зенон і Дарко Мігус, власники фірми Мігус Автоворк, бажають своїм клієнтам і всій українській громаді веселих свят і щасливого Нового року. Фірма Мігус Автоворк полагоджує ремонти всіх автомобільних марок професійною і чесною обслугою. Христос народився!
Христос рождається, славім Його. В цей благодатний час, коли ангели сповіщають всім добру новину. Вітаємо вас із Різдвом Христовим і з Новим роком. On behalf of the Board of Directors and staff at St. Vladimir Institute, I would like to extend our warmest greetings of the holiday season. This past year, we've seen great changes at the Institute. To volunteer or become involved, please visit our website at www.stvladimir.ca. Thank you to our members, supporters, and volunteers for your loyal dedication to the Institute. Your generosity allows us to promote and foster our Ukrainian heritage and culture in our community. Merry Christmas and all the best for 2017. Veselих вам свят!